What is up everyone, my name is Jasper and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at September and see just how much my websites have made me. Now if you remember my last income report from August, you know that on August 31st my largest website got hit by a core update or a Google update and it lost about 60 to 70% of its traffic. Now back then, since it happened on August 31st, it didn't really show in the results of that month, but in September the results are really showing and the overall numbers are once again down by quite a lot this time. So for those of you that don't know, I currently own 6 websites. One of these is jasperpietersen.com, so we don't really count that one. But from the other 5, 2 of them are in Dutch and 3 of them are in English. This is my portfolio right now and the English sites are really the priority and the main focus. The Dutch sites are just there in the background, but they do still make me some extra money. Now, as I said, the numbers for September are going to be a lot lower. This is partly because of the update hitting one of my largest websites, but also because I sold one of the sites in August, so we're not going to be showing those numbers anymore. Now, I'll probably make a video on that sale in the near future, but for now, just know that the site has been sold, so I do not have access to the analytics or the income anymore. But without further ado, let's just jump into the numbers from the first site that we're going to cover, which is the English beauty website. So this is a website with a really rough history. This was a site that saw huge success in the beginning, and then at the 2-year mark, it dropped off a cliff. It lost like 80% of its traffic, and ever since then, it has been pretty steady. But lately, for whatever reason, the traffic is just fluctuating like a lot. Just look at this Google Search Console graph, and you see that it just keeps jumping up by 80% and then dropping by 80%. The good thing is that halfway through September, it actually jumped up with 80%. So right now the site is actually performing pretty well again. A lot better than I would have expected at least, because I didn't really think this one would come back. So right now the site's actually doing pretty well and it's outperforming my expectations. As for actual numbers, the website just missed the 20,000 page views a month mark, which is, you know, normally this website did around 30 to 40,000, then it dropped down to 15,000. So right now we're currently at around 20,000 a month, which I'm pretty happy with. So this website currently is monetized by both display ads and video ads, and the display ads made me a total of $345. This is up, of course, when compared to August, and there's 2 reasons for that. First is August is part of that summer slump. September is finally the time where we are kind of slowly moving towards the Q4 RPMs, but September is of course also the very last month of the 3rd quarter, and the last months of quarters typically see higher RPMs when compared to the other 2. So the RPMs were of course higher, but we also saw the traffic increase, and both of those combined make for a much higher number right now. Then as for the video ad income, that's currently sitting at $71, which is again up compared to last month. Then as for Amazon, I have 3 Amazon stores. So I have an Amazon US store, an Amazon UK store, and an Amazon Germany store. Now the German store, it didn't make me anything this month, and the Amazon UK store made me like £11, which, I mean, it's something extra. I'm not going to complain about it. But the Amazon US store actually performed pretty well. It made me just over $100, which is also up from last month. Additionally, this website is also monetized by some niche relevant affiliate networks, and these made me a total of $23. So overall, I am pretty happy with how much this website has made me. It made me a total of $561, which is really nice to just see. And I know that's going to be a lot more in October and hopefully November and December as well. Let's just hope that this upward traffic trend continues and that we see a very profitable 4th quarter. So whereas the beauty site is actually up and is going in the right direction, the accessory site is sadly doing the exact opposite. So the accessory site is a site that performed super well until the May core update. It then dropped by 30%. I managed to get that back up to its original levels, and right when I reached that, the helpful content update came along, the September core update came along, and we're currently sitting at just a shell of its former self. The peak of the site was like 11 to 1200 page views a day. We're currently sitting at 200 page views a day, 2 to 300. It honestly hurts a lot to see, because this is a site where I think I have produced the best content that I can. But for whatever reason, it just keeps getting slammed down in the last couple of months. Now the good thing is that I did actually contact a lot of people that are seeing incredible success with their websites. And I just asked them if they wanted to take a look at my website. I figured I have nothing to lose. If they know my niche and want to copy me, go ahead. I mean, I'm not ranking for anything anymore anyway, so go ahead. But all of these people, they took a look at my site and they all came to the same conclusion. The content is great. There are no like structural issues, there's nothing weird going on, but for whatever reason, you're just getting dropped. And a lot of these people actually notice similar things happening to their sites. Like there's now currently a lot of, just let me just be honest, a lot of crap outranking me, like AI sites, forums, or articles from very large brands that are not even close to answering the question. So that's really the conclusion that all these people came up with, and I have like 10 plus people that all earn like between 5,000 or more a month. So these are people that know what they're doing, and they all looked at my site, they all came to the same conclusion, that there's something going on that just doesn't make sense. Now, why am I saying that? It is because right now, that really gave me hope, because I figured that maybe my content was the issue. To hear from these people, these experienced people, that it probably isn't the case, makes me feel good, because I mean, there isn't all that much you can do if the entire website just has poor content. But there is something you can do if you don't know what the issue is, and that's just keep on publishing. So right now, I'm just continuing my publishing routine. Hopefully, I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but hopefully there's another core update in the near future that kind of reverts all of this traffic back. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say about that. This website, it did get hit pretty massively. It's still in a bit of a small decline. And yeah, that's really showing. I mean, this website is the main reason that the overall numbers for my portfolio this month are just down by a lot. So let's just take a look at the actual numbers. So last month in August, this website had a total of 34,000 page views. Right now, it dropped down to 15,000 page views. And as you can see in the Google Analytics chart, you can see that in the beginning of September, I was actually seeing some pretty okay numbers. They were still like 700 page views a day. Right now, we're in the 200 to 300 range. So, of course, the first couple of weeks really saved the overall numbers, but yeah, this isn't looking pretty. However, the one positive thing I can take out of this is that Ezoic is really pulling its weight. Ezoic's RPMs during the summer slump were really bad. It was like $13, $14, sometimes even below $10. And that's, yeah, it felt really bad to see those low numbers when I knew that this website, it used to do like $15 to $20 RPM. Right now though, the website is showing pretty consistent like 25 plus RPM. And I mean, it's kind of sucks to see that the traffic is now low, of course, at this point when the RPMs are great. But it does give me some hope that if I can get my traffic back, that this is going to be a very profitable website. So in total, this website made $300 with, I believe, a single dollar coming from Amazon. The rest is coming from Ezoic, and yeah, I'm very happy about that. Ezoic is really doing its best to make sure that I don't lose all that much money on such a large drop. So as I mentioned, I am pretty hopeful about this site. Although it's showing some very bleak numbers right now, I am kind of convincing myself that it's just Google making a mistake. And I hope that my traffic is going to return in the near future. So the plan for me right now is to just keep publishing. I'm not going to publish as much. I'm thinking maybe investing more in the home site right now. So I want to keep publishing like 3 to 4 articles a week, just so when my site hopefully or eventually comes back, it will be in a much better position than it was when we first dropped off. So then on to my last English website, which is my home site. And for whatever reason, this right now is my most exciting project, simply because it's just growing very nicely. If we take a look at the Google Analytics graph from when I first started, you can see that this site is growing really nicely. Last month we were at like 4,000 page views, I believe. This month we're sitting at 6,500 page views, and it's still showing an upwards trend. Now I am actually considering on monetizing this website right now, just so I can take some of those fourth quarter earnings, and typically around this point I will monetize anyway. Like it's currently sitting at nearly 7,000 page views a month. It's still growing. So by the time we're in December, I would say that this site will sit around 10 to 15,000 page views a month, and that's a very solid point to start monetizing on. So it's probably something I'm going to work at either this month or next month, and I hope that it's going to get a nice RPM. Of course, I do not know. So far, this website is not monetized at all, so there's no income coming in. As for future plans for this site, I mean, I said it's one of the most exciting projects right now. It's honestly one of the projects I have been the most hands-off of. I basically outsource all of this content. I haven't really worked on it myself all that much, but I would like to get more involved. Last video, I of course made an entire update on this website, so I'm not going to go too in-depth in this video. You can take a look at that one if you want. But the overall plan is to just keep publishing and publishing, and I have one dedicated writer that's going to publish a couple articles a week, and yeah, that's basically it. Other than that, I do also have 2 Dutch websites. These sites mainly run in the background. These sites are there, I don't really work on them, but they run profitable, so I am of course including them in my income report. Very first one is a Dutch beauty website. This is basically the Dutch version of the first website we discussed, which was the English beauty website. And this site, it always runs very stable. It never really fluctuates all that much in earnings or in page view numbers. So it's always every month kind of giving you the same numbers, but I mean, it's still pretty good numbers. So the site has 22 articles on it, and this month it had a total of 2,600 page views. These 2,600 page views made me a total of $27, which comes down to a pretty nice RPM for a Dutch website. Other than that, like, there are no future plans for this website whatsoever. It's just going to be there in the background, and it funds me another article every single month. Then on to a more exciting Dutch website. This is a bit larger, like 43 articles, I believe. And this is my Dutch boating website. Now the thing is that this is a super seasonal website. I mean, boating is very seasonal. It's of course something that people do in the summer, and here in the Netherlands, like, summer lasts not all that long. So I have a couple of months where I see some really nice numbers. Like last month we hit all-time highs on both earnings and page views with like 11,000 page views a month. This month, of course, September was a lot colder, and yeah, you can see that back in the page views. So we dropped from our all-time high of 11,500 to an all-time low for September to just over 4,600 page views. So this site actually dropped off a lot more than I expected, and maybe it's a bit of the core update playing a role, but honestly I haven't seen all that much changes in ranking. So I think it just mainly has to do with the weather, like the site always does. When we have good weather, we have good page views. When we have bad weather, we have bad page view numbers. That said, this website still managed to make $47, which is once again a very good RPM for a Dutch website. I remember like a year ago, this website was sitting at a $5 RPM. It's now sitting at a $10 RPM, so we doubled within just a year. Now this website didn't make any affiliate income. It sometimes does. Sometimes we get lucky with a very large sale. This time we had 0 sales, so there's no numbers to report here. So that is it for the portfolio side of things. And where in August we barely managed to reach the $1,000 a month mark, this month it wasn't the case. We dropped off, actually not as much as I would have expected, but we've dropped down to a total income of $935. Again, I would say that this is still a pretty solid number. I would of course like to finally see some actual growth, but I can't complain about an extra $935. Other than that, I do also cover all of the other income sources in this video, so let's just quickly go over those. So I think the most important one for this month is my freelance work. In my last income report, I mentioned that I'm going to look for something to do on the side to make me some immediate money. With all these drops, I just needed an extra source of income to actually get by and keep reinvesting in the business. So I partnered up with someone, another Dutch person, and we're currently working on some very exciting projects. But in the meantime, I'm also doing some freelance work, so that made me a total of $1,120. Next up is my YouTube income, and this income is typically around the same number. This month it is a bit lower because I didn't upload for a week. But I made just shy of $100 with my YouTube AdSense, and then I made a lot of money from a particular affiliate sale, which is of course really nice to see. It's a nice surprise, especially it came on a date where I was having a bit of a hard time kind of processing all of these hits that I've been taking. So this was a really nice surprise. You can see some on the screen right now. But with YouTube and my affiliate income in total, I made $937. Now I do need to mention that this is of course an anomaly. This is not a typical month for my YouTube or affiliate income. I do know that I saw a similar sale for next month, so for October this month as well. But yeah, for now this is an anomaly. It just happened to happen 2 months back to back, but don't expect this to be the typical number. Typically I sit around $300 to $400, sometimes even $500. So I just wanted to mention that. Now lastly, I also do some dividend investing, and this month I actually had my first month over $50 in dividend income, which is I think a really nice milestone. You can see on the screen right now that this is the dividend coming from the companies that I'm invested in, and I'm honestly pretty happy with all of this. Having more than $50 of income purely from investing in dividend stocks, to me is a pretty important milestone. My dividend strategy is basically to just invest in solid businesses and let that snowball roll. And what I mean by that is to just reinvest every single dividend that I earn. And that way the snowball keeps getting larger and larger, and hopefully it can give me a nice extra bit of money every single month. So in total, my entire earnings for this month were actually the best they have been for a while now. Now this is of course mainly because I'm now starting to do some freelance work, and I had a really large sale for an affiliate network. But this month I made a total of $3,043. That is basically double from last month, even though my portfolio in its entirety is just down. So overall, I can't really complain. Things are going pretty well. I'm pretty excited for the future, especially considering the accessory website that is going in the right direction, hopefully. Now that the beauty side is back up, it definitely gives me some peace of mind. But overall, like, things aren't going too great, but I am very excited to just keep working at it and turn things around. Other than that, I really don't have much more to share for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.